You ever been right in the middle of a sentence, sharing something that really matters to you, and you look up, and the person you're talking to is just gone, lost in their phone? It's this weird, modern kind of gut punch, and today we're going to break down exactly what that feeling is and what it's doing to our relationships.
This right here, this is the core of it. It's that exact moment you realize you're not in a conversation anymore. You might as well be talking to the wall. You're physically in the same room, but emotionally, you've never felt further apart.
And if you felt that, trust me, you are so not alone. It's become an almost universal experience in this hyper-connected world of ours. It's that quiet frustration you see at dinner tables, in coffee shops, on couches all across the world.
But here's what's so fascinating. This isn't just some vague, modern annoyance. Nope, researchers have actually been studying this specific thing for years, and they've given it a name that, honestly, hits the nail on the head. So what do they call it? The term is phubbing. I know it sounds a little goofy, but the impact it has is seriously no joke, and the science behind it is pretty eye-opening. And there you have it. It's a mashup of two words, phone and snubbing. Simple, right? It's that tiny little action of choosing the screen in your hand over the person who's sitting right there in front of you. A small gesture, maybe, but it has some surprisingly massive consequences.
And get this isn't some brand new thing. The word itself was actually created over a decade ago, but you can see how quickly its impact has ramped up. By 2020, more than half of partners were saying, yeah, I get ignored for a phone. And just 1 year after that, that number jumped to nearly 2/3 of couples saying it was causing real fights.
Let's just pause on that number for a second. 51%. That means, statistically, if you're in a relationship, it is more likely than not that you've been on the receiving end of a good phubbing. It's not the exception anymore. It's become the norm.
So the big question is, why? Why do we do this? Is it just a terrible habit, or is there something, deeper going on in our brains that makes it so hard to just look away from the screen? Well, research points to a few key things. First, there's a real element of social media addiction, that constant mental pull, that need to just check one more time. Then, of course, you've got FOMO, the fear of missing out, which creates this nonstop anxiety to see every notification as it happens. And sometimes the phone is just a coping mechanism, a quick and easy way to check out from a tense conversation or just a moment of boredom. Okay, so we know what phubbing is, and we've got some idea of why we do it. But what's the actual measurable fallout in a relationship? Well, the research is pretty clear. It's not just a minor irritation. It can set off a whole destructive chain reaction. And this is where you can see a clear domino effect. It all starts with that one simple act, choosing the phone. That action then sparks real negative emotions. We're talking jealousy, anxiety. From there, those feelings can blow up into actual arguments, and in some really extreme cases, it even leads to people snooping on their partner's phone. And the end of that chain, a huge nosedive in how happy you are in the relationship. And the effect on that connection is, well, look at this. A staggering 97% of people in one study said that phubbing absolutely lowered the quality of their interactions and their connection with their partner. 97%. I mean, that's about as close to unanimous as you can get. So when we're on the receiving end of this, when we feel ignored, what do we do? Well, it turns out our reactions aren't random at all. They're actually explained by some really core ideas about how humans interact. Ideas that phubbing basically throws right out the window. It really all comes down to something called expectancy violation theory. It sounds academic, but it's super simple. We all walk into a conversation with a basic set of unspoken rules, right? We expect the other person to make eye contact, to listen, to respond. But phubbing completely violates that social contract. Instead of attentiveness, it gives us distraction. Instead of feeling heard, we feel rejected and totally invisible. So when that rule gets broken, we tend to react in one of three ways. First, we might just accept it, to avoid a fight. Second, we might fight it, call our partner out on it, which, let's be honest, usually starts an argument. Or, and this one is so common, we join in. We just pull out our own phone, and suddenly you're in this silent cycle of reciprocal phubbing. So when you pull all of this together, what phubbing is, why we do it, the real damage it causes, and how we react to it, it paints a really vivid picture of this very modern dilemma we're all facing. And that's the great, tragic irony of it all, isn't it? The very device that we hold in our hands, the one that's designed to connect us to literally everyone in the world, can become the exact thing that builds a wall between us and the person we care about the most, the one who's sitting right there beside us. And that really leaves us with this final, critical question to chew on. As we're all busy scrolling through our feeds and tapping out replies, are we actually building more connection? Or are we just quietly creating these little personal bubbles where we end up sitting together but feeling completely and utterly alone?